All right, we ready to go? I think this is going. Oh. Wi-Fi. All right, I think this is gonna be good enough for now. Okay, so we are gonna get started with a brand new focus for reading today. So today we'll notice that sometimes authors will revisit important parts of the story in order for us to understand a character. So we are gonna see some important events that come right back up in the story, and we're gonna understand the character better. So I'm gonna read chapter 11 out loud, and you're gonna be thinking about what events or what is the author revisiting in this chapter? What is the author coming back to? And why do you think the author is doing this? So what are we gonna focus on as we're reading? Tell a partner what we're gonna focus on. Go ahead.
We're gonna focus on like what
See, Yanni and Charlotte getting right into the turn and talk. Nice focus. Mohammed and Tyreek getting right into the turn and talk. Nice job. Back in 3, back in 2, back in 1. Seeing a lot of strong participation from the middle row. What are we gonna focus on, Charlotte?
We're gonna focus on like events that happened earlier in the story that are happening right now.
So that's one thing. What is the author revisiting? And then what's the second piece we're gonna focus on? Mohammed?
The second piece.
More volume in your voice.
The second piece we're gonna.
More volume in your voice.
The second piece we're gonna learn about is like what's the author like. Like, what's the author what's the author connecting to the past of Edward? When he was
What is the author connecting to the past? That's the first part. And the second part has a different question stem. What's the second part we're gonna really dig into today? You wanna take another try?
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead.
Why do you think the author does
Can you say it with more voice?
Why do you think the author does this?
Awesome. We're going to be thinking about why, thank you so much, the author does these things. Why are we hearing about the same parts of the story again? So we're going to jump into chapter 11 on page 83. I'm going to see who's ready to rock and roll. Super quick, just like Miani, just like Hennessy. Winston's ready to go. All right, awesome. Remember, if you hear anything from the guiding question, raise your hand so we can talk about it. Thank you, Dalen. Okay. Edward ended up at the dump. He lay on top of orange peels, coffee grounds, rancid bacon, and rubber tires. The first night, he was at the top of the garbage heap, and so he was able to look up at the stars and find comfort in their light. In the morning, a short man came climbing through the trash and rubble. He stopped when he was standing on top of the highest pile. He put his hands under his armpits and flapped his elbows. The man crowed loudly. He shouted, "Who am I? I'm Ernest! Ernest, who is the king of the world! How can I be king of the world? Because I am king of garbages, and garbage is what the world is made of. Ha, ha, ha! Therefore, I am Ernest, Ernest, who is king of the world," he crowed again. Edward was inclined to agree with Ernest's assessment of the world being made of garbage, especially after his second day at the dump, when a load of trash was deposited directly on top of him. He lay there, buried alive. He could not see the sky. He could not see the stars. He could see nothing. What kept Edward going, what gave him hope, was thinking of how he would find Lolly and exact his revenge. He would pick her up by the ears. He would bury her under a mountain of trash. But after almost 40 days and 40 nights had passed, the weight and smell of the garbage above and below him clouded Edward's thoughts, and soon he gave up thinking about revenge and gave in to despair. It was much worse than being buried at the sea. It was worse because Edward was a different rabbit now. I see people's hands are going up now. He couldn't say how he was different, but he just knew that he was. He remembered again Pellegrina's story about the princess who nobody loved. The witch turned into a warthog because she loved nobody. He understood that now. He heard Pellegrina say, "You disappoint me." "Why?" he asked her. "Why do I disappoint you?" But he knew the answer to that question too. It was because he had not loved Aibileen enough, and now she was gone from him, and he would never be able to make it right, and Nellie and Lawrence were gone too. He missed them terribly. He wanted to be with them. The rabbit wondered if that was love. Turn and tell your partner, so far, what has the author revisited in this chapter that we've already read, and why is the author doing that? 1 minute to turn and talk about your ideas. Go ahead.
Can you revisit it?
Nice and
The
getting right
author
into it.
revisited that word at one page right there. I think that it was worse than the first.
Christian, you can look more easy when you look at your partner. Okay? Looking for you to make a change.
No.
I don't know the author now when Edward was at the bottom of the floor, and I think
I see Tyreek's already ready to share. Okay, bring it on back in 3, 2, 1, and 0. Who wants to get us started in the discussion? Go ahead, Tyreek, nice and loud, and I should be tracking Tyreek. Nice tracking team.
The connection was that it was much worse than being buried in the sea, and how Pellegrina said
We're gonna talk actually about one at a time. So what was the first idea that Tyreek brought up? Do you want to say it again? What was the connection? Being buried in the sea. Raise a hand. Remind me. When was Edward buried in the sea? Say the question again. When was Edward buried in the sea? When did that happen? Stella, when did that happen?
When that happened was when he got thrown overboard.
He was thrown overboard. How long was he in the sea for? Who remembers? Take a guess. Tristan.
297 days.
Oh my goodness. So Edward was buried in the sea. Edward in the sea. Why is the author bringing that up again? What are your thoughts, Eliana? Why is the author bringing that up again?
The author's bringing that
Nice
up
tracking,
again.
Hennessy.
The author's bringing that up again because now he's in the dump, and he's relating what happened to him when he was at the bottom of the sea to now when he's in the dump.
Just stay with us, okay? Good. Who wants to add on? Nuha.
I think I want to add on to Eliana. I also agree with Eliana because I think he is revisiting this because it connects to how he is in the dump now, and it's kind of like the repeating event.
Mm-hmm.
Because first he was with Aibileen and Pellegrina and the family, but he was in the ocean floor, but he was with Nellie and Lawrence, but now he's in the dump.
Mm-hmm. So why is the author doing that? It's tricky. Why is the author bringing back up stuff that already happened? What do you think, Hennessy?
I think because he wants to see how what Edward did in the past and then what Edward is now doing. Because last time he was bored of everything at Abilene and stores, and now during his future when he was with Lawrence and Nellie, he changed.
Mm-hmm. I love that Hennessy was saying what Edward was like in the past and what Edward was like now. I think that is something interesting that we'll want to keep in mind for the rest of the discussion. So Tyreek brought up the author revisits when Edward is in the sea. Looking back on the page that we're on page 85, I want everyone to look at page 85. What else is the author revisiting on page 85 that we've already heard of? So you're earning a tally because you're not following the directions. I'm looking for you to make a change. I should see everyone's hand up because my expectation is that everyone is going to participate in this discussion. You get the most out of your learning when you're really digging deep and doing your best work all the time. So what else is the author revisiting on page 85? What else, Ameni? Sorry, go ahead, Ameni, sorry. I was looking at you saying Ameni, it's confusing.
When Pellegrina said you just played.
Ooh, we read about that before. What happened with Pellegrina before in the story? Turn and remind your partner, what happened with Pellegrina before in the story? Go ahead, turn and talk. Looking for you to participate, Cassie. Okay? Your hand needs to be up when the next one talks, okay?
Yeah, but